So we've known for some time that things aren't great between Meghan Markle and her own mother, Doria Ragland. She has been completely miserable in the last couple of public appearances that the fake Duchess forced on her.
An ancient shot. I mean, it's truly ancient. Like, either to me, do one of you and your mom when you were really young, or do one from the last couple of years. And not to mention,
where it became clear just how tense relations are between mother and daughter when Meghan unwittingly revealed to the world that her
You know what's wild? Everyone remembers Meghan Markle's wedding dress, the kiss, Prince Harry's nervous grin. But there's one photograph from that day that tells a story nobody's talking about. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Windsor Castle, 600 guests. The entire British royal family lined up on one side, Hollywood A-listers scattered throughout. And then, sitting completely alone on Meghan's side of the chapel, one woman, Doria Ragland, Meghan's mother. Solo, not a single family member beside her.
Where it became clear just how tense relations are between mother and daughter when Meghan...
Now before you think that's sad, hold on. Because what looks like loneliness at first glance is actually something far more powerful. That empty space around Doria wasn't accidental. It was deliberate. And the reason why reveals everything about what was really happening behind the scenes of the most watched wedding of the decade.
Never achieve on her own by dating a very rich and wealthy and influential man. She married said influential man, joined the British royal family, the most well-known royal family on earth.
Let's rewind to 5 days before the ceremony. The world was buzzing with excitement. Royal protocols were locked in. Security was airtight. Everything was perfectly choreographed. Then suddenly, chaos. Thomas Markle, Meghan's father, the man who was supposed to walk his daughter down that aisle, became the center of a scandal that blindsided everyone.
Her mum had decided to attend the Beyoncé concert without her and without even telling her. Now, I knew things.
Paparazzi photos started circulating. Thomas reading newspapers about the royal wedding. Thomas getting fitted for his tuxedo. Thomas strolling around, seemingly preparing for his big moment like he was rehearsing for a movie premiere. Sounds normal, right? A father getting ready for his daughter's wedding.
Alice, she had one child and then decided to jump ship and scurry away to Canada under the auspices of, oh, we need a break from the media, only to turn around and go.
Except here's what nobody expected. Those photos weren't random paparazzi catches. They were staged, completely set up. Reports later suggested Thomas collaborated with photographers in a deal worth around $100,000. Planned poses. Scripted moments.
But now it has emerged that the strain is so bad that Doria Ragland has said enough is enough. I'm moving out of Montecito for good.
The whole thing was orchestrated. Can you even imagine? The palace had spent months planning every single detail down to the minute. Seating charts finalized. Timing perfected. Press releases prepared. And then this bomb drops less than a week before the ceremony. The British tabloids went absolutely nuclear.
Leaving the whole British monarchy, moving back from Canada to California, having another child, buying a $13 million home, getting deals with Netflix and Spotify, losing the Spotify deal, gaining a deal with Lemonade.
Every major outlet picked up the story. Questions started flying. What were his intentions? Was this about money? Was he trying to sabotage his own daughter's wedding? The palace had to scramble. Fast. Seating arrangements got reshuffled. Roles reassigned. The entire schedule had to be reconsidered. And in the middle of all this chaos, someone had to step up.
Pretty brutal, actually, because Radar Online have reported that Meghan Markle has now been abandoned by her mom after the Duchess begged.
Enter Prince Charles. Calm, composed, ever the professional. He agreed to walk Meghan down the aisle in a last-minute switch that somehow saved the entire ceremony from falling apart. Talk about a royal rescue. But the drama didn't end with Thomas. Not even close. Because Meghan's half-siblings decided this was their moment too.
I'll take you through this reporting. It is from Matthew Acton, who is a very experienced UK news reporter.
Samantha Markle, outspoken and unapologetic, launched into full media mode. Interview after interview, she talked about how fame had changed Meghan, how the royal spotlight had created distance, how her sister had supposedly forgotten where she came from.
Pulling out an ancient shot. I mean, it's truly ancient. Like, either to me, do one of you and your mom when you were really young, or do one from the last couple of years. And not to mention,
It was like watching a family feud play out on international television. Then there's Thomas Markle Jr. This guy took it to another level entirely. He wrote an open letter. Not a private note, an open letter addressed directly to Prince Harry himself. In it, he questioned whether Harry truly understood what he was getting into with Meghan's family.
Mother Doria Ragland moved out of her and her hen-pecked husband Prince Harry's Montecito mansion, RadarOnline.com can reveal. The departure came after Diva Duchess Meghan used...
He warned about complications. He raised concerns about the wedding. Picture being Prince Harry, opening that letter, and realizing your future brother-in-law just went public with family drama days before your wedding. Uncomfortable doesn't even begin to cover it. These weren't just embarrassing family moments. These were full-scale public relations nightmares.
sure it's from then or now. Although the interesting question is, ladies and gentlemen, has Meghan Markle had plastic surgery? Because when it comes to Meghan,
For decades, royal weddings had been about precision, elegance, and carefully managed public image. The palace knew how to handle things quietly, discreetly, behind closed doors. But Meghan's family drama went international overnight. Front-page headlines, social media explosions. Every news outlet dissecting every word, every action, every photo.
for her kids, and sources tell us even her own mother got so sick of her constant moaning and drama she had to flee the luxury home. Insiders say Ragland's departure has left...
And through all of it, one person stayed silent. Doria Ragland, Meghan's mother. The woman who had every reason to speak up, defend her daughter, call out the chaos. But she didn't. She remained composed, unbothered by the circus her ex-husband and Meghan's half-siblings had created.
actually completely and utterly under the radar for the last month or two, because she did the interview with Bloomberg late July, maybe in the very first.
She became something the palace desperately needed in that moment. An anchor, a steady presence, the one person who could hold things together without adding fuel to the fire. This is where you start to understand the emotional weight of that wedding day.
struggling to adjust without her. The 68-year-old yoga teacher had moved into the Sussex's sprawling Californian mansion in 2024 to help them through.
The cameras captured the fairy tale, the beautiful gown, the stunning flowers, Harry's smile, Meghan's radiant walk down the aisle. But behind all that beauty, there was chaos, family tensions boiling over, media storms raging, public scrutiny at an all-time high.
All she's done is like repost from her show and everything. She's not showing anything new, and she's been deliberately obscuring her face in various things. And to pull out a really old picture, I can't help but think that is...
By the time Meghan walked down that aisle with Prince Charles beside her, Doria wasn't just another guest in the crowd. She was a symbol of loyalty, of resilience, of what real family actually looks like when everything else is falling apart.
Understatement of the year. The tight-knit mother-daughter bond strengthened during this time, with Ragland providing a steady presence in the home she shared with Markle, Harry, and their two children, Archie and Lily.
She sat there, alone on Meghan's side, quietly representing decades of love, support, and unwavering maternal strength. The kind of quiet power that doesn't demand attention but commands respect.
The close to the family told us Doria was a steady support for Harry and Meghan during a tough time. She provided them with much-needed emotional strength, but she has her own life and social code.
Now fast forward to the ceremony itself. St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle. Breathtaking architecture. 600 guests, dressed to perfection. Royals, celebrities, dignitaries from around the world. Everyone positioned exactly where they needed to be. And then there's Doria.
Daughter's constant moaning and dramas. Meghan is deeply upset about her mother leaving. She even pleaded, "Don't leave me," as she walked out the door with her suitcases. Harry also regarded Doria
Sitting by herself, completely alone on Meghan's side of the chapel. While the cameras focused on the grandeur, on the dress, the tiara, The procession. Doria's presence was the real story unfolding in plain sight.
Our source added, Doria is happy with how the family is doing now. She's ready to concentrate on her own life.
She wasn't just attending her daughter's wedding. She was carrying the weight of Meghan's entire family on her shoulders. One woman, representing everything Meghan had come from. Every struggle, every triumph, every moment of love and guidance that led to this day. Think about what she was up against in that moment. Her ex-husband embroiled in a paparazzi scandal that made global headlines.
She plans to visit often, but won't be living with them full-time again. Our insider said the pair are totally lost, and Meghan must be thinking.
Meghan's half-siblings throwing public accusations and concerns into an already volatile media storm. Every single press outlet treating Meghan's family history like it was the juiciest gossip of the year. And yet, Doria sat there, calm, graceful, unshakable.
In a huge mansion. But the key point is, she got sick of the constant moaning and the drama, so she had to flee. And can you blame her? Can you really blame her?
She didn't try to compete with the drama. She didn't issue statements or give interviews to defend herself. She didn't try to steal the spotlight or make the day about anything other than her daughter. She simply showed up, fully present, holding space for Meghan in a way that only a mother can. That single image became iconic.
Loyal to Meghan. She drank the Kool-Aid for a period. She even was used as propaganda in the Netflix documentary series.
Sure, the cameras caught the dress, the flowers, Harry's nervous energy, the celebrity guests. But anyone really paying attention could see something deeper. Doria's quiet heroism. Her ability to be the heart of the ceremony while everyone else was caught up in the spectacle.
She's seen how her daughter's lies have been exposed. She's seen how her daughter uses people. She's seen how her daughter treats people. And as a calm yogi,
she proved something powerful that day. Sometimes the most influential position isn't center stage. It's one step removed from the chaos, grounded, steady, real. Here's where Meghan's values really come into focus. Most weddings are about filling seats, looking good for the cameras, keeping distant relatives happy even if you haven't spoken to them in years. But Meghan made a different choice.
Doria had actually enabled a lot of this bad behavior by Meghan, and I would also...
She chose her mother, Doria Ragland, as her only family representative. No extended family politics. No awkward seating arrangements with people she barely knew. Just one person. The person who had been her constant through everything. Through acting struggles, family upheaval, relentless media scrutiny, and every challenge life threw her way.
The mother, because it's lovely to have grandchildren. So at the beginning of these relationships,
it was subtle. You could easily miss it if you weren't paying attention. But it was incredibly powerful. A quiet statement that family isn't measured by how many people show up. It's about who's actually there for you when everything falls apart. And Doria embodied that completely. Sitting there alone, she sent a message louder than any speech or toast could ever deliver.
And the children are growing and all that. But if you start taking advantage of the mother, then things get bad.
The palace clearly understood how important this was. Staff members were assigned specifically to ensure Doria felt comfortable. They briefed her on every step of the ceremony, guided her through the protocols, made sure she felt supported throughout the day. Every detail, from where she sat to how the timing worked, was handled with care and respect.
But disagreeing, one about, complaining when you've got this absolutely amazing home and so much that you can do, and you just get fed up with it. And she does have friends, but she can't see them.
Because this wasn't just about logistics. This was about honoring the woman who raised the bride. And that respect was visible in every frame captured that day. The media focused on the elegance, the royal glamour, the fairy tale moment. But the emotional weight of that day was more subtle.
She wouldn't have minded, and she didn't mind, to be very comforting to them. As I said, they both felt that they were...
That image of Doria sitting calmly alone, carrying the family mantle with such grace, said more about Meghan's values than any designer gown or floral arrangement ever could. By prioritizing her mother over appearances or traditional expectations, Meghan showed the world something important. Real family loyalty matters more than ceremonial perfection.
Mothers, and they could look after them, but after a while that gets boring and you've got to sort of learn to stand on your own 2 feet, and she just got fed up because
And honestly, that one choice set the tone for how her life would unfold under the constant glare of public scrutiny. Fast forward a few years, and Meghan's journey into exploring her ancestry suddenly grabs headlines again. A DNA test reportedly reveals she's 43% Nigerian.
Meghan is actually not looking after her children either, and she just leaves it all to her mother. And when she's going out or when she's going away, she expects her mother to be there, not go off and not do anything.
The news spreads fast. Social media lights up instantly. Fans celebrate. Critics question. Experts weigh in. Conversations about race, identity, and public perception explode across every platform.
I think she was quite right not to say where she was going to watch a show. Why should she say? She's not an au pair, is she? She's not a nanny. She wants.
Then Doria enters the conversation. During an appearance on The Daily Show, she casually mentions Meghan's heritage. What should have been a private, personal celebration of identity becomes instant fodder for public speculation. People start questioning everything.
With Meghan being a sort of a grandiose human being and not accepting that she would like to do her own thing.
Did Meghan interpret her results correctly? How accurate are these DNA databases anyway? Can we trust commercial genetic testing? Suddenly, family history becomes another chapter of public drama. But this situation goes beyond science and statistics. It's deeply personal. Meghan's exploration of her heritage connects to questions of identity, belonging, and understanding where you come from.
Be here. So it must have, over the time, got very, very annoying for her. And actually, I think there is a step of real kindness there when she says she's very pleased how they're living now.
But with the level of scrutiny she faces, every word gets magnified, every gesture analyzed. It stops being just about ancestry. It becomes a story about a woman navigating fame, family expectations, and cultural identity all at the same time, all in the public eye.
But we all know it's very, very bad for both of them. Meghan, who screamed, "Don't leave me, don't leave me," and Harry, who actually has leaned.
And through it all, those family dynamics remain a constant backdrop. The half-siblings still making comments, Thomas Markle's past drama still being referenced in articles, and Doria's steady, consistent presence reminding everyone that Meghan's life isn't some perfect ceremonial fantasy. It's complex, it's messy, it's intensely watched. Just like her wedding day was.
Emotionally to him. But she's going, and I don't think that she thinks everything's.
Now let's talk about the cultural collision that made everything more complicated. Meghan's American family is direct, vocal, unfiltered. They say what they think, they don't hold back, that's just how they operate. British royals, on the other hand, are reserved, methodical. They've perfected the art of privacy over centuries of tradition. Put those two approaches together and you get fireworks.
Yeah, I mean, look, it can't be easy. We learned from those reports emanating from the Sussex Survivors Club earlier this week.
Thomas Jr.'s open letters, Samantha's media interviews, Thomas Sr.'s staged photographs. All of it collided head-on with royal expectations of discretion and decorum.
I think Meghan has only really leaned on Doria because Doria fits a certain narrative that Meghan has had to push in order to, let's say, conceal her.
Suddenly, palace staff weren't just managing a wedding ceremony. They were managing a full-scale public family drama playing out in real time across international media. The impact was massive. Every seating decision had to be reconsidered, every timing adjustment scrutinized, every public statement carefully crafted.
Which is that she's the victim of racism and she can lean on her mom for that. And I think in the show, if I remember,
the palace was trying to balance centuries of tradition with the unpredictability of a family that operated by completely different rules. They were attempting to maintain ceremonial perfection while dealing with the chaos of American-style openness and directness. It created tension, absolutely. But it also shaped the entire narrative of the wedding in ways nobody could have predicted.
Log to get through. But her mom at some point, I think, was kind of whispering in Meghan's ear, going, racism, racism, racism. If you use that, people will, let's say, back away.
What makes this fascinating is how clearly it highlights the stark difference between these two worlds. Royals are trained from birth to handle family issues quietly, privately, behind closed doors. Protecting the family image is paramount. Meghan's American relatives took the opposite approach.
Use her mom as a way to claim racism, even though
They broadcast their opinions to anyone who would listen, leaving palace staff scrambling to maintain some level of control and dignity. That cultural collision didn't just affect wedding logistics, it fundamentally changed public perception. People watching from home were seeing this drama unfold in real time.
Meghan is largely culturally white. She has married white men. Most of her friends are white. She's culturally white. She doesn't have that.
They were comparing Meghan's background with centuries of royal tradition and expectation. They were taking sides, forming opinions, sharing hot takes on social media. And through absolutely all of it, one person remained grounded. Doria Ragland. Quiet, strong, the calm center holding steady while the storm raged around her.
And I always found it really interesting is that everybody was like, Doria, she was so like regal and Harry and Meghan's wedding.
Here's what makes this even more complicated. It's 2018. Social media dominates everything. One tweet, one Instagram story, one YouTube clip, and the narrative is out of anyone's control. The palace can't contain it. Nobody can.
And everything. I don't even think, did she really even shed much of a tear when Meghan got married? I can't.
Unlike past royal weddings where carefully crafted press releases controlled the story, Meghan's family drama spread like wildfire. Every absence noticed, every letter published, every interview dissected. It all went viral within minutes. Palace communications teams had to react in real time.
I always thought about Meghan is that her father didn't come, and I don't think he was really invited. And I don't think Meghan ever wanted him there because
Constantly updating messages, addressing speculation, trying to manage a narrative that kept shifting faster than they could respond. The result was a wedding that transcended being just a ceremony. It became a masterclass in modern media chaos management. Palace staff were no longer only handling protocol and tradition. They were managing a global audience, armed with smartphones, cameras, and strong opinions, ready to explode at any moment. Meanwhile, Meghan's family, the outspoken American side, kept fueling the frenzy. Every interview became content. Every statement got clipped, shared, analyzed by millions of people online. Fans and critics dissected every word. The traditional royal method of controlled, measured information release simply didn't work anymore. The old playbook was obsolete. Through all of this chaos, Doria Ragland maintained her composure. While the palace adjusted strategies on the fly and Meghan navigated one media storm after another, Doria quietly embodied calm and loyalty. She became the emotional anchor for her daughter when everything else felt like it was spinning out of control. The wedding taught everyone a crucial lesson about the modern age. In the era of social media, family drama is public drama. No amount of planning, no level of security, no carefully worded statement can fully contain it once it starts spreading online. After Meghan and Harry's wedding, the palace learned some hard lessons they couldn't ignore. The old approach of accommodating everyone quietly and hoping nothing leaked to the press was officially outdated. Modern family situations required a completely different strategy. They needed foresight, realism, and the ability to adapt quickly. They started vetting family circumstances more carefully before major events, anticipating potential social media reactions before they happened, managing expectations in ways that balanced tradition with the messy reality of modern families. The wedding became an internal case study, a blueprint for what to do and what to avoid in the future. The lessons were practical and immediate. Palace staff learned to ask detailed questions about potential family complications before events, about public statements family members might make, about online behavior and social media activity. They realized that controlling the narrative completely was impossible in a hyper-connected world where everyone has a platform. But they also recognized something valuable. They saw the power of Doria's approach. One calm, respected family member could offset tremendous chaos, could provide continuity, could maintain dignity when everything else was falling apart. Her presence became a blueprint for future royal events, proof that sometimes less really is more. Finally, we come back to that image that will never be forgotten. Doria Ragland, sitting alone at St. George's Chapel. At first glance, it looks lonely, sad even. But look closer. Look at what it actually represents. It's not loneliness, it's loyalty. It's resilience. It's a perfect example of what real family values look like when everything else strips away. Meghan's wedding reminded the world of something important. Even the most glamorous, perfectly choreographed events have messy, complicated human realities behind them. Family dynamics that don't fit neatly into traditions. Media scrutiny that tears apart every decision. Cultural clashes that nobody saw coming. Personal identity questions that become public debates. Doria didn't just attend that wedding. She anchored the entire family story. She held the emotional weight while chaos unfolded in every direction. She represented Meghan's world, her past struggles, her journey, and her unwavering support system, all while sitting quietly, gracefully, alone. And here's the thing. This story isn't over. Not even close. What happened at that wedding was just the opening chapter. The tensions, the cultural clashes, the media storms, they all continued long after that day. The next chapter got even messier, even more complicated, even more public. But through it all, that image of Doria sitting alone remains. A reminder that sometimes the most powerful presence in the room is the one that doesn't need to say a word,